The handstand push-up is a feat of strength and balancing that everyone can agree is one of the most aura moves.
Oh my god.
Once the balance is spot on and a good amount of reps can be done, it can even become an exercise for hypertrophy, at least in my opinion. In this video I will show you how to get your first and for you to someday be able to reach 3 reps in a row. Before going straight to the tutorial, I want to mention a few things. First, this is how I got the handstand and its respective push-up, so I will be teaching my way. Not only will you get the handstand push-up, but also the handstand in itself. It doesn't matter if you cannot hold a handstand. This method not only builds strength, but will also dramatically improve your balance. The only condition is that this method relies far more on strength than other methods to learn balancing. This doesn't mean that the balancing in itself is a strength feat, but strength will be needed over anything else in this method. Also, I want to mention that no holy grail or magic pill is required. Enough practice and you are going to get good at this and finally achieve it. You will obviously need requirements to even attempt to achieve the handstand push-up. 20 dips in a row along with 10 pull-ups should serve as a good indication that you're ready to start. Because our method requires shoulder strength more than anything else, not only to achieve the push-up but also the balancing, I will first show you 2 great shoulder exercises that you should do for upper trap and overall shoulder and tricep strength that will greatly mimic the motion of the handstand push-up in itself and are required if you want to get good at it. The first exercise is going to be foundational and it is the deep pike push-up. The deep pike push-up can be done in parallel bars or any surface that allows for that extra depth. To do the deep pike push-up, find parallel bars. Put yourself in a standard push-up position to learn the initial position of the pike push-up. Bring your legs while having your hands fixed, elbows in. While your legs get closer to your hands, you will notice that it forces your hips to elevate in height. Keep your legs straight, elevate your shoulders, chest in and butt in, and make sure your wrist is aligned to your shoulders. Now, in the pike push-up position, you can start the eccentric movement or negative. To perform the negative, bend your arms as you allow yourself to go down and forward, and this is very important. Down and forward. Your torso and shoulders will go forward and down, performing shoulder extension, while your elbows should be somewhat still and aligned with your wrist. Now, in the end of the position, your shoulders and upper traps will be in a stretch position and are ready to now do the concentric part of the movement, basically the pushing in itself. Now, as you straighten your arms to push upwards, you will perform shoulder flexion. Not only will you push up, but also backwards, up and backwards to the initial position, and that will be a repetition of a deep pike push-up. Elbow movement forward and backwards is okay so as long as it is not very dramatic. You could do it on the floor, but it involves less range of motion. I particularly like the increased range of motion because that stretch on the shoulders and upper traps feels great. It should be better for muscle building. You could try 5 sets of 5 reps if it is hard in the beginning. To increase difficulty, the distance of your legs and hands can be reduced. You can always manage and modify sets and reps to your needs and increase them over time. This is a great exercise to feel how a handstand push-up will feel like, and honestly it feels pretty much like one, with the exception that your legs are helping you. It will greatly help you get the feeling of it because that particular motion of down and forward and back and upwards is basically what happens in a handstand push-up, and it is important to keep balance in the movement. Also because strength is specific and this exercise mimics the movement pattern, the progress in this exercise will transfer to the handstand push-up. If the pike push-up is done in parallel bars, it allows for more range of motion, and that extra range of motion matters even more if you plan to learn the parallel bar handstand push-up. The second exercise is the wall handstand push-up. This is basically just a handstand push-up without the balancing aspect. To do it, you need a smooth wall and use some socks to glide on the wall as you push. The same motion of forward and down and up and backwards will be used. The same technique of the pike push-up applies perfectly in this exercise, and therefore I will not explain it. The difference comes from the rest of the body. If you know how to do a pike push-up, you will know how to do a wall handstand push-up. The closer your hands are to the wall, the harder it will be. This is heavier than the deep pike push-up, and the progress and results in this exercise will likewise transfer completely to the handstand push-up. But of course, training both will not automatically grant you the balance aspect of the handstand push-up. Also, I would like to clarify that even if there is minimal leg support in this exercise, the free handstand push-up feels heavier. Now, what everyone was waiting for. What is the exact method that will give you not only balance and strength in only one exercise? And it is the bent arm handstand press. When we commonly see handstand tutorials, we always see kick-ups to handstands or handstands on the walls, and honestly, it never worked for me. I tried and tried, fell, and never felt like I was really going anywhere. Even the handstand on the wall felt unproductive, and results were never seen in my journey. Not to completely bash balancing training with walls, it just never helped me personally, until I tried and constantly trained the bent arm handstand press. One of the most common problems of using some sort of kick with your legs is momentum. And yes, maybe if you do kick-ups for enough time, maybe over time you will be able to adapt and control the momentum. But I was never able to. Always falling forward or not kicking with enough strength, getting tired and tired the more I kicked, the more I was getting worse and worse tries. The bent arm handstand press allows you to reach the handstand position without any momentum whatsoever. It is only the concentric part of the handstand push-up. In other words, only pushing without the need of going down or executing the eccentric or negative. You don't need balancing at the handstand position to do the bent arm handstand press. You mostly need strength to be able to perform this exercise. To do the bent arm handstand press, first we need to learn the bent arm handstand hold. And you may be thinking, that looks like you need balance to do it. And yes, it is true, but not to the extent that you think. The bent arm handstand hold does require a bit of balance, but compared to holding a handstand, it is nothing. Because our torso and legs are in an inclined position, the weight of our legs and torso counteract each other and balancing becomes just a matter of shoulder strength. That is why I show you the deep pike push-up and the wall handstand push-up before the bent arm handstand press. All those reps will give you strength and condition you to be able to already hold the position flawlessly. Along with shoulder strength, you will need core strength to hold the weight of your legs in the inclined position of the bent arm handstand hold. For that, I would recommend learning and doing the dragon flag. It definitely helped me, but we're not going to showcase or learn this exercise because honestly it is just a supplementary exercise, not necessarily to learn the handstand push-up, but it helps to mention. To do the bent arm handstand hold, go to the floor and put yourself in the end position of a standard pike push-up. Make sure your hands are in a claw position. Get your legs off the floor and tuck them close to your hips. Elevate a bit of your torso, and that will be the tucked bent arm handstand hold. If you can hold that for at least 15 seconds, it will be now advised to extend your legs. And that will be the bent arm handstand hold. It will be ideal that you get good at the hold first before trying the press. At least 15 seconds with your legs extended. This bent arm handstand hold is incredibly underrated to learn the balance necessary for the handstand in itself. But its drawback is the need for strength. The reason as to why this is so underrated is because first off, the balance required in this position is minimal compared to the handstand in itself. The second thing is that we are training our forearms, fingers and wrists without any support, and that is maybe one of the most important things. Kicking up to hold the handstand position can easily make us lose our focus because of the difficulty of controlling the kick up and the momentum that may carry us forward. Such momentum makes us move all over the place, and every failed attempt will fatigue us and frustrate us while making our future attempts worse. Likewise, our inability to hold even 3 seconds in a handstand position and the momentum involved greatly reduce the amount of time and volume our fingers, wrists and forearms can get to simulate the position and build the mind-muscle connection necessary to hold the balance. The wall may act as a helper, but at what point do you stop being dependent on it? How much are you actually feeling and using your fingers, forearms and wrists to balance yourself on the wall? In the bent arm hold, you can already feel and use your fingers and forearms to balance yourself without dependence on a wall, while the balance component is not very difficult. If your body leans forward, you will learn to use your fingers to push you backwards, for example. Another benefit of the bent arm hold is that keeping your body straight is quite easy, and it will build a great habit that will transfer to the handstand. It is now time to do the bent arm handstand press. After being in position, it's now time to push yourself up, remembering the motion that you learned in the deep pike push-up and the wall handstand push-up. Down and forward and up and backwards. In this case, we will only apply up and backwards. As you push, you kinda want to move your hips or torso forward while keeping everything straight as possible without obsessing about form. You will notice that as you push and you do the motion of up and backwards, your head is also going up and backwards. Now, The key in this is pushing as slow as possible, because in the bent arm, keeping your body straight is quite easy. Now what you have to do is keep it in that position. Doing it slowly will allow us to keep that straight body position as much as possible and prevent any other kind of movement of your joints aside from getting your arms straight from a bent position. Not only that, but you will also notice that because we are pushing slowly, using our strength, momentum is none, and that will greatly help us. Slowly pushing to the handstand position will make us feel all the range of motion that will be needed in the handstand push-up, and your fingers, forearms, upper traps will be working and experiencing all of that. All that time you are in the bent arm position, and when you slowly push, you are forcing your fingers, forearms, and upper traps to stabilize, to learn to hold and be used for balancing. At the start, you will very likely not be able to hold the handstand position for more than maybe 2 seconds, and you will also fall forward. But I swear the bent arm handstand press was a game changer for my balance and strength when doing handstands and handstand push-ups. Before the press, I literally couldn't hold any kind of balance at all. Doing 8 sets of 2 reps or more sets, applying a method of high sets and low reps with high rest should help you a lot. With high rest, maybe 3 to 5 minutes per set will be good, or maybe even more. Modifying and increasing reps over time as you get better. Once your handstand balance is spot on, you can do explosive bent arm handstand presses with leg support as a way to do more reps and add volume, because it is hard to accumulate volume when doing a lot of slow presses. Slow presses for balance work and explosive presses for volume work. If you have learned the bent arm handstand press and the handstand, you basically already learned the handstand push-up. You just need to, once in the handstand position after you started with a press, simply do the opposite motion and applying the same motions of the big pike push-up and the wall handstand push-up, down and forward and up and backwards, as slowly as possible in the start. The faster you try to do it, the less control you are going to have. It is that simple. I will separate training in 2 sections, one day for strictly the pike push-ups or wall handstand push-ups, whichever you want to do, or you could mix them up, and the other day for bent arm handstand press work, and spam the fuck out of them. You can start doing 2 training sessions per week, and over time you can either increase sets per session or leave it like it is and add more days per week as you adapt to the movement and training. And once you can do 2 handstand push-ups in a row, doing the handstand push-up instead of the presses or leaving the presses at the end of your session could help you. After all, you want to get good at handstand push-ups, so doing them is better than not doing them. I have personally discarded the wall handstand push-up because I need to get to a wall, and where I train there is no wall, and the presses I don't do as much because I can already easily reach 5 reps of 10 sets of deep handstand push-ups in parallel bars, my record being 7 reps without counting the press to get to the handstand position. Once you're adapted to the training, 4 to 3 times per week will probably be the sweet pose to get the most results the fastest possible. Although if you want to be hyper frequent in your training, you cannot destroy your shoulders in every session. If you want to learn the handstand push-up or the handstand push-up in parallel bars, doing bent arm handstand presses and holds while applying the same method you did on the floor will definitely help you. The only thing will be to get over the fear of falling and learning how to fall. Personally, balancing in parallel bars is 5 times easier than the floor, at least for me. Some injuries that are worth preventing when doing these exercises will be wrist injury and shoulder injury, so make sure you always warm up. For the wrist, simply doing rotations in every direction and progressively applying pressure before the handstand push-ups through conventional push-ups and dips will help you. For your shoulders, bringing blood through easier exercises like push-ups and dips and deep pike push-ups, and also rotating and stretching a bit of them should help you a lot. It is so easy to injure these joints when doing handstand and handstand push-ups, so warming up is your king. Some final tips that I think are worth mentioning are: stop if the attempt is wrong. It is very easy to want again to try the handstand push-up after losing balance, but again, if you are not able to do a lot of reps of them, once you fall, you are going to be already fatigued, and that will just inevitably make you lose focus. And coupled with fatigue, the set is just going to be worse and worse. So reset and stop and wait for the next set. Don't obsess over form. If your form is not perfect, it really doesn't matter. No one gives a fuck and you don't compete, so just accept that you can do the perfect form and just add more volume to your training. Doing enough volume and frequency. Sometimes it is easy to not increase the amount of reps and sets you do, and then you wonder why you are still in the same place. The more you do, the better, unless you don't rest. So find your sweet pose of frequency and volume, which will allow you to be frequent while doing a good amount of sets and reps. Stretching hamstrings and shoulders. For some reason, stretching your hamstrings help, so do them, and also your shoulders. A cue for straight legs. Flex your calves and have your feet as a ballerina as a cue to completely squeeze and strengthen your legs. That has personally helped me. That is all for the video, and I hope it helped you reach your first freestanding handstand push-up and the handstand in itself. Training this is intensely fun and rewarding. Also, if you eat right, your shoulders and upper traps are going to blow up.